Welcome to the Third Generation Wrestling Podcast with your hosts, Eric and Rob.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. 3GW, and I am your real host for the first time in 2021, Mr. Eric, joined by my co-host, Mr. Rob. And I guess the question is, have you recovered from the last episode?
Man, I don't know if I will ever fully recover from what we experienced on that last episode. And for those who haven't listened, I highly encourage you do so, but also remember that you were warned.
Yeah. Probably one of the most hilarious moments you'll ever hear. Just completely, was not scripted. I don't think I've ever been so caught off guard.
You and me both. And of course, it involved the doc, as we all know and love Doc, but leave it to him to provide those unforgettable moments.
Oh, man. And we, of course, joined by a special guest, MJ Books. Been a little while. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Gotta say, that moment, though, I wound up doing the same thing from it because I was laughing so hard. Thank you, man. Doc. Don't do that when you're on my show, bro.
That's what I thought about too. Like, oh god, Book's gonna hear this and was like, oh nope, can't have him on our show now.
I'm gonna make sure he goes to the bathroom properly before he goes. Don't drink no water before you come onto the show.
Yeah. Oh man. But that I guess we might as well shout that show out now. That was our best and worst of 2020 episode. We kind of touched on it without saying what it is, so you do need to go listen. It's a really good show, and even outside of that event, I thought the show was pretty good, and counting down and remembering some moments that maybe some of us forgot. So, but tonight we're here to talk about 2021 and the road to Wrestlemania. It's going to be an interesting one because the first Monday Night Raw of 2021 was Legends Night. And of course, anytime the ratings dip, here's Vince reaching back into that old reliable bag. At least that's what he thinks it is. And pulling out old names. It'd be different if they didn't have Hall of Fame every year, and it'd be different if they didn't bring, all these legends on the shows 3-4 times a year, but they do. So it's nothing special anymore. And quite frankly, nobody wants to see Hulk Hogan on TV. I mean, anytime he's on, it's the wrong reaction. I mean, you go on Twitter and people aren't talking about the fact that he was on TV. They just bring up the fact of what he said and how he never really apologized. So until he does so in a way where we the fans, especially the black fans, appreciate and can say, okay, we understand where you're coming from now. Maybe you understand where we're coming from now, but that hasn't happened. So there's that. But gonna get right to it. At the end of the show, we had Drew McIntyre versus Keith Lee for the WWE Championship, at which Drew did retain. There was a section of legends at the entrance ramp, and after Drew won, one more legend made an appearance. And you either with him or you against him, damn it. And I have said on this show, I'm good. I don't need to see him wrestle anymore. I said that same thing about Taker and Sting. I'm good. But he is going to be on the show. So, hey, it is what it is. That's my dude. Way past his prime. But we got a confrontation between Goldberg and Drew McIntyre. Goldberg challenging Drew at the Royal Rumble for the WWE Championship. And we're going to get right to it. Go ahead, Book.
Well, this wasn't exactly a shock that Goldberg was going to show up. It's not a shock. Vince practically announced it. He telegraphed that Goldberg was going to come back. He said, and I don't care what the fans think. So, look, it's not shocking he's coming back. Does he deserve a shot? No. Does he deserve to win it? Hell no. And I think that's disrespectful to Drew McIntyre. Drew did the remarkable job. I think it was you, Mr. Rob, who was complimentary of Drew this year. Drew was the right guy to carry that belt. He was the only guy that carried that belt through this COVID thing. And if his reign is going to end this disrespectfully, it's just a shame. It should not be ending because old man Goldberg wants to come back and do his Undertaker impersonation of I'm going to wrestle once or twice a year. No. Obviously, we're going to watch this, but no. This guy should not be there. He should be sitting on a beach somewhere back in Florida or something, hanging out with a bunch of geriatrics, doing anything but wrestling. No, it's disrespectful. Goldberg can go to hell. I'm sorry. I know he's your boy, but it's just no. Just no.
and you do mean Goldberg the character because the person hasn't.
I don't mean the person. I am strictly talking character. Goldberg, the person, before he was a prick, but he has lightened up a bit. And I've heard he's a decent guy. That's cool. I'm just talking the character.
Right. All right.
Well, I was a little more surprised than both of you because I do my best not to pay attention to the internet. I like the element of surprise in wrestling. That's very hard to come by these days. So I heard rumblings about Goldberg coming back, but I didn't think it was going to be against Drew. So that, to me, was the bigger surprise, is that they're having him come back against Drew and at the Royal Rumble. Now, I got to agree with Mike. Do I think Goldberg deserves the shot? No. Do I have confidence that he can put on a good match? I'm sorry, but no. But do I understand why WWE is bringing him back? Yes. Because despite the fact that he is past his prime, he is an icon, he is a legend, he does move the meter, and I think there will be a large portion of the WWE universe who will be excited about this match. I am not one of them.
I don't know about large.
Well, okay, maybe not large, but
because what I've been reading online,
people are not happy. People are not happy. It's like 50-50. It's like 50-50.
The video, if you want to go back in time, the video of when he beat the Fiend on YouTube is their most disliked video of all time.
People are getting sick.
Okay, well, look, and I'll end my comments by saying this. With all of that said, I am still more excited about this match than I am the championship match we're getting from the SmackDown side. Now, maybe we'll get to that.
Yeah, so me being the Goldberg fan of the 3GW clan here, look, I've said it, I'll keep saying it, but at the end of the day, I think people are directing their anger in the wrong place. If you're anybody that Vince is calling you and saying, hey, I'm going to give you a payday and you got to show up and do X, Y, and Z, you're going to show up and do X, Y, and Z. I'm not paying attention to whoever's on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram and, oh, they mad. Okay, y'all be mad. I'm going to cash this check. That's how I look at it. Be mad at the guy running the show. Be mad at Vince. And I think I don't like it from the aspect of, I guess I don't want to get too deep with this, but it's almost like that person that, everybody on this show is independent and self-sufficient, but we all know somebody that leans on, either their parents, or always goes back, and they don't know how to manage when things aren't going right. And the only way is to you gotta ride the wave sometimes. I was blessed to buy a new house this year, but I don't forget 3 years ago, I was in a 1-bedroom shitty apartment, struggling. Okay. Raw is struggling with their ratings big time. And if all you're going to do is hoping and praying that you can get some nostalgia instead of doing what you should have been doing the last 4 or 5 years, it's just building up stars. I mean, like them or not, Roman, y'all had a star, booked him completely wrong. Braun Strowman, booked him completely wrong. And the biggest one of all, the biggest failure, Bray Wyatt, by far, hands down the biggest failure. They fucked that up big time.
Yep.
The only person that I don't mind seeing get pushes is Randy Orton. He's the living legend right now, and I mean I mentioned it on the previous show. He's like a renaissance man right now with his career. But at the end of the day, long-winded answer, but I don't think they brought Goldberg back to beat Drew. I just think that they want something for Drew to do that is, what they feel is a big deal. He gets to face Goldberg, Hall of Famer, and he'll get the win and he'll move on. And they'll have to figure out what they're going to do for February, and then they got to figure out what they're going to do for Mania. Clearly, they don't have an idea what the hell they're going to do with Drew for Mania. That's very clear.
They put themselves
but
in
no,
that position.
I don't see Goldberg winning though. If I'm going to do a prediction right now, no. Drew is going to go over because, I mean, if you beat Keith Lee, if you beat Randy Orton, you beat Brock Lesnar, you can't call somebody, it's like fighting your dad and then lose to him. That's not right. So I predict Drew to win.
Well, if we're making predictions, I'm going to pick Drew, but I mean, you never know. But yeah, I'd pick Drew. I'm curious to see who wins the Rumble and who Drew will face at Mania. We've seen him face Roman. He's faced Randy. If we don't get a rematch with him and Brock, I can't even really think of a match that would excite me very much. But April's a long time away, and they still have time to build stories. But why would we believe that WWE can do that? But we'll see what happens.
I don't know.
Man, I gotta tell you, and it pains me to say this, but for the match I actually want to be at Mania, Drew has to lose. And I hate that, but for him to have the match I want him to have at Mania, he's got to lose. And I don't want it to be the Goldberg. It would disgust me if it's Goldberg, but it wouldn't shock me if it's Goldberg. And Goldberg does the same crap he did last year at Performance Center Mania, show up for a 2-minute and 13-second match and lose. So it's in the end, it's disrespectful at this point. But if they do with Drew what I want them to do with Drew, because I know who I want him to face. I don't know if you want me to say that now or later, but he's got to lose. He's got to lose between now and Mania for the match I want to happen, which match I want won't happen either way.
Well, Mr. Eric, but I'd like you to explain what you mean.
As far as what match I want him to have?
Yeah, and why he has to lose in order for it to happen.
Because if he wins this match, he would have to lose somewhere in between because the person I want him to face has the other belt. I want him in Roman. That's what I want. I want him and Roman at Mania because that story the last 2 times Roman's beat him. And that story arc is right now he can't beat Roman. So to me, it would mean something for him to beat Roman at Mania. And that's what I want to see. I want to see him finally get over on Roman at Mania. Because Roman's not going to lose the belt. There's no way he's losing his belt. So that means it has to be Drew.
Okay. All right. Real quick, Doc is trying to get in. So I don't know if you want to pause this and send him a email. Did y'all know that about Adam Pearce? That he used to be a wrestler?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
he was in TNA. He was in Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor, yeah. He had like a Bobby Roode type of look.
So yeah, he can go. He can go.
I have no idea about that, but I'm not buying any of it. I think it's terrible. It's ridiculous. You know, he doesn't even have an official title on Raw. He's just a WWE official. And I don't care that he has a past in wrestling. I don't know anything about it. And to put him in the ring against the big dog on one of the biggest cards of the year it's a travesty and far worse than what we're seeing with Goldberg and McIntyre.
I agree. He shouldn't be in that match. I agree.
Oh, you know, I don't really have any details on this thing, so it's a little weird to talk about. But the whole Cardi B and Lacey Evans.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I haven't heard a thing about it.
You don't want to know.
Don't tell me they're going to try to get Cardi in a match.
Well, she was shouting out WWE, and I think Lacey said something, and then Cardi made it about race, and I'm just like, come on.
Okay. Well, yeah. Cardi has been a WWE fan for a while now. Are they going for some sort of angle? I'd be surprised because I don't know that WWE would want to be a part of something involving race with considering.
No. She just said, you know, ain't no white bitch gonna beat up on me and blah, blah, blah.
It's just Cardi being Cardi.
Okay.
I don't care to see it.
Well,
you sent him the email?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
That would not surprise me. If they book that, people will watch, and WWE would be smart to do that. Look, we've seen Snooki wrestle. We've seen Maria Menounos. It's not. I mean, WWE does that kind of stuff.
How about that Snoop Dogg splash? Did y'all see that shit?
Can you call it a splash? Snoop Dogg's so bony. Can he create a splash?
It
was something. It was something.
He need to watch his cousin Sasha do that a couple times because
he just needs to stick to watching. Just stick to watching.
Yeah. Keep smoking.
His commentary is great.
Oh, he good at that.
On that Mike Tyson fight, man, that was so fun.
Oh yeah, it's like two of my uncles fighting at the bar.
Oh, mercy!
Yeah.
Snoop is good on the mic.
Oh, the ambulance.
Snoop's good on the mic. You can put him at the table.
Yeah, that was outside of Nate Robinson getting knocked out. That was the other thing I heard about with that fight night was Snoop's commentary. So I was, okay.
Yeah, me and your mom was here cracking up watching that.
Well, Nate became a fast-growing meme after that. I mean, his meme was all over the place. I'm still seeing that meme pop up.
All right, well, we're going to move on. If Doc comes in, he comes in.
I'm watching.
So, I know you all got to get up in the morning. So, Roman Reigns, speaking of the big dog, it's not going to be Adam Pearce. So, who does Roman Reigns face at WrestleMania? Me personally, I don't know. Because I thought they would have built up Big E the proper way. And when we got a Big E versus Roman, he decimated Drew. So I don't know. Rob, who do you have anybody you think in mind to face Roman?
To me, it's too soon for Big E, and so I wouldn't go that route. Look, if And I don't think we don't have live audiences, but I think given the heel turn of Roman, even though we've seen the match several times, I think a match between him and Brock takes on a new perspective now, and that would excite me. But I don't know if Brock is going to want to come back without fans in the stands. If it's not Brock, I have no idea.
I see the point in wanting it to be Brock. I just he's just a sore. He's a sore now. Putting that belt on him is just having him hold it hostage again. We finally getting to points where we have a regular champion, a champion who's there. I'm not too eager to have this bullshit of having some guy who's there 5 times out of the year holding the belt. No, I don't want Brock anywhere near it. Clearly he'll be there probably some way, shape, or form. I already said it. I want to see Drew and Roman. I want to see the continuation of this story between them. You know, at some point down the line, Drew's got to get that win over Roman. He's got to get this win. Where better than WrestleMania? That's the perfect place for him to get it, especially if we end up having a crowd. I mean, come on, this is the perfect situation for him to get that final W. So, like I said it earlier, I want to see Roman and Drew McIntyre, but that means Drew's got to lose his belt. I doubt we're going to have a combination of belts again, not a undisputed champion again.
Well,
I don't think Brock wins.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, if Brock and Reigns do face off, I don't think Brock wins. But I'm just trying to think of a match that excites me. Possibly a returning Seth Rollins. Maybe they could do something with that story. They have history. Maybe there's something there, but they've already done Drew versus Randy, Drew versus Reigns. I mean, there's not any matches really left that we haven't already seen.
Yeah, excuse me. I know, Rob, you talked about it before. Having the dichotomy now of Reigns and Brock, but now Reigns is the Paul Heyman guy, and I mean, to have Brock come in the match as the babyface, that is interesting. But at that point, you can't have the same type of Brock Lesnar match that you would have had before. He can't come in there throwing heel Reigns around like that. That doesn't work. So I guess that's the only place where that match wouldn't really line up, and that's how they've always booked Brock. Like, the only person, ironically, that's got an upper hand on Brock is Goldberg.
Man. Ironically.
I disagree with what you both are saying. Brock has always been a badass, whether face or heel. He's always been big and bad. That's what Brock does. He's going to do his suplexes. He's going to, I mean, that's what Brock does. It doesn't matter whether he's a heel or face. And
no,
look,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. That storyline has to go somewhere. I mean, you've got Brock, who has been managed by Heyman for years. Brock leaves. Heyman is now with Reigns, who has been a bitter foe of Brock's for how many WrestleManias, for how many matches. That story has to culminate at some point.
Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I'm just saying the way the match plays out, you can't have Brock coming there ragdolling the big dog heel Roman Reigns, who's pretty much ragdoll Kevin Owens, beat the hell out of Drew McIntyre, and all of a sudden he's getting thrown around again. Like that, to me, that doesn't work.
You both have some good points there. Both have good points. As far as Brock, would he come in as a face? It'd be really difficult for him to be a face, but it's not like he has to change anything because he was acting like this, and there was moments where he basically almost was a face. So the worst thing that could possibly happen is if they're both heels. If they're somehow both heels in this and the crowd just does not care, which is my fear, that the crowd will not care, that's when the match could get stinkage. That's when this match could get bad.
And see, and I'll make one more point is that I don't think that, I mean, you can have Brock ragdoll and Reigns if you want. To me, they haven't booked Reigns in the best way. Yeah, Reigns is big and bad, but look, he hasn't won a big match without Jimmy's constant interference. And then at the Royal Rumble, he's going to take on Adam Pearce. Is anybody going to be impressed by that? So I don't think, personally, they've booked Reigns in a way where he looks invincible. He hasn't won anything without is it Jay or Jimmy? It's Jay, I think.
Jay.
He hasn't won anything with Jay's interference.
Yeah, I get that too. I don't know. I don't know. I just think I agree. I guess we agree that Reigns will win. Maybe it's how to get there. We differ on, which is fine. All right. Next. Continuing on with the big dog. So if we don't get Brock, do we get The Rock?
God, no. God, I hope not. No.
You hope not?
No, I don't want to. I don't want to see that either. I don't need another has-been coming back. The Rock has come back, and his matches have been amongst the worst in WrestleMania history. Cena Rock was crap. Cena Rock 2, crap. He don't need to come back and wrestle. No, I get it. It would be a huge pop. It would be the classic situation of somebody showing up. Great. They showed up and then the bell rings. And what? That means I would have no excitement for this because Rock can't win it, or else we have another part-time situation, which is what he did to CM Punk. I don't need to see Rock in this either. Rock can show up. If Rock wants to be a host, fine. If you want to show up and cheat, whatever. But you should not be facing Roman at WrestleMania. I don't personally want to see that. I think it'd be a horrible match.
Well, it is rumored that he could potentially face Roman, if not this year, next year for sure. Do I want to see it? Hell yes, I want to see it. Damn right, I want to see Roman go against The Rock. Come on, that's the main event. That's box office. I mean, that'd be the biggest match since Rock and Cena. Come on, the cousins.
That would be about hype. That's hype. Then the bell rings.
Money. Go back and watch Hogan and Rock and mute it. Watch Hogan Rock on mute and tell me how good the quality of a match it was.
Even on mute, you could still tell that was decent. Because you could still see the crowd. I could still see that crowd. You could still see it even muted.
Right, but if you say it's all hype, the people that are hyping it is the crowd. So take the crowd out of it. That match was shit. But the crowd being there and reacting the way they did made that match. This would be a box office match. I don't care however you want to slice it. You might not want to see it, but it would make money and it would be box office. And I would love to see it. And Roman would have to go over. That'd be the only way. But I think Rock would be glad to do the favors. So that's where I'm at with it. I think it would be silly if Rock didn't do it. He's at the point in Hollywood now where he has his own production company. He could step away and get ready. He's in shape, but he's not in ring shape, obviously. But
I'm curious what the Rock fan has to say on this. Mr. Rock himself.
Well,
what about me?
Yeah, that's your guy, man.
Look, man, I agree with Mr. Eric. That is absolute box office, and it's a great story. Now, what I do agree with you, Mr. Mike, is that I don't think the match delivers, but that's not really what the WrestleMania main event has ever been about. The WrestleMania main event is what brings people to the show. The first WrestleMania had Mr. T in the main event. Mr. T ain't no wrestler, but he was a huge personality at the time, and it brought people to the show. So that's what it's about. And if you book a match with the history, with the lineage, everyone knows the history and the family connection between Roman and The Rock. If you do that story correctly, Roman claiming to be the tribal chief, but then you've got The Rock, who's the biggest movie star in the world and a wrestling legend, saying, hey, dude, how are you calling yourself the tribal chief? Okay, I'm the man in this family. I mean, that is a great story.
That's a great story.
The lead up to this match would be epic. But I do agree, once the bell rings, it probably takes a nosedive. But everything up to that point would be epic. And it would be huge. It would be huge. The world, not just the wrestling universe, not just the WWE universe, the world would be watching that match. It would make national news. It would be on ESPN. It would be everywhere. Everybody would be talking about it.
Everything you just said is either nail on the head. Just seeing Rock stand toe-to-toe with Reigns and go, you the tribal chief? Could I rattle off the names of people that wouldn't even be in this company if not for me, you being one of them? Yeah. The promos The Rock would cut on Reigns, and that would be the only fear I have, because I know The Rock. He's talked about those promos with Cena, and some of those did get off script, and they did kind of really go at each other sometimes. Hey, look, he could cut Reigns down the side. We know Reigns has gotten better on the mic, but he don't stand a chance with The Rock. I'm sorry. Not in a promo.
No, he wouldn't. He'd get cut to pieces, even though he has improved greatly. But no, again, it would be great hype. I don't deny the hype would be great, but that bell's got to ring, and then that's when the shit rolls in. That's when the shit will roll in. I'm past the point where I'm sorry, call me odd. I want the hype and the match to be good. I'm sick of the hype being great and the match being shit. I'm sorry. I want good matches. I'm tired of shit. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it. And it seems all they do now is shit. I just want a good match. It doesn't even have to be great. Just good. I mean, I'm setting my standards pretty low. Just good. That's it. Just good.
I hear you. All right. And this will probably be the longest topic, but we're heading into the Royal Rumble, which means we're going to get a number one contender for a women's championship and a number one contender for the men's championship. So haven't talked about the women just yet. So let's get into that. And let's get into who we think is going to win on the women's side. Now, me personally, I'm going to say I have two. Either Bianca or Rhea will win the women's Royal Rumble. I feel that it could go either way. But I'm leaning more towards Bianca. So I feel like her and Sasha it just looks too good on paper to not happen. And I hope I know it's hard to keep those two apart because they're on the same show and get to Mania. And WWE hasn't done the best job of getting people to Mania from the Rumble in the past few years. But I think that would be a marquee match at WrestleMania is Belair and Banks. So that's where I'm going. Rob?
Yeah, I agree with you. Either one of those two, even though Rhea hasn't officially coming up, we know she's coming up. And we know the epic match she had against Charlotte last year. She fell short. I like how they're booking Bianca. And they have had her tag teaming with Sasha. So to me, they already could be planting seeds there. So if I have to pick one, I'm going to say Bianca.
Okay. I'm about to admit, the doctor just warning you now.
Oh, boy.
All right. I just admitted him. So, oh, man, here we go. The doctor has arrived.
Fellas.
Did you go to? Did you go do something first?
I didn't piss, but I should be good. What's going?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Are we recording?
Oh yeah, we're recording right now.
He's already going.
Oh yikes, that's tough.
We welcome in the Doctor of Wordonomics, aka Mr. Piss Your Pants himself.
Doc 316 says I just pissed my pants.
Right.
way to come in at the tail end of the show, by the way.
Oh damn! At the end, sheesh, guys. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
we did text you 8:30.
You know what? What happened? I got caught up in this game, and them boys getting their tail whooped. So I was like, "Ain't this about to be?" Then I pulled my phone in my pocket, like, "Oh, I forgot."
Yeah. All right. Well, we pretty much gave our rundown of things. The most recent topic we did was the possibility of The Rock facing Roman at WrestleMania, and if we liked it or not. So Rob and I are in agreement. It'd be box office. It'd be probably the biggest thing since Rock and Cena. But things to be the hype would be good, but the match would suck. So,
I kind of feel like I agree with all three of y'all. Like, I feel like it'll be epic just because it's The Rock. Just period, The Rock. But I agree with Book because it's like, what Rock are you getting? Are you getting in shape Rock? Or are you getting the Rock when he fought Hulk Hogan, where it was like two puppets with one string, using all the elements with one string? Like one string control the hands and the feet at one time. Then it's gonna be tough. So it's kind of like, it's gonna be epic, but what Rock are you getting?
yeah.
He too big? Is he so big and muscles that he just looks stupid moving? Or is he like that Rock, the SmackDown Hotel jabroni whooping, Wu-Tang eating? If you smell,
Lord.
He tried. At least he got through it.
I think it's pie eating.
Yeah, it's pie eating.
Yeah, he tried. He got the points through.
Y'all never.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna make fun of him on that one.
But y'all never heard The Rock say Wu-Tang pie?
Yeah, he did say Wu-Tang.
He said it.
Right.
He said it.
Yeah. Your point is valid, but yeah, I mean, at this point, he's in shape, but there's nothing like getting in ring shape. Like when you get in there, and your footwork, and then literally, I've seen people get winded in boxing matches 2 minutes in, and they're just blown up. They can't get their shit together because they're just blown the sky high. And we all saw it, WrestleMania 28 with Cena. He was blown the whole match, just being real. But he got through it. But I still want to see it.
It's boxing.
So the other thing, the obvious thing, go ahead and get it out there now.
Oh God!
They made it official. Goldberg versus Drew McIntyre at Royal Rumble. Now we all predicted that Drew would retain, because I think this is just like a one-off. They're just giving him something to do.
I didn't exactly say that.
Well, you said he retained.
I said it wouldn't shock me if Goldberg won.
I was thinking the same thing. They I don't know why they feel like Goldberg is still the unbeatable force. He's not. You throw a couple of bricks at him, he's done. So I ain't gonna talk about him, Eric. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna talk about him.
No, I've already said it, and I made it clear. I don't want to see him wrestle no more. So anything that happens now, I can't defend.
You're gonna see him at least 2 or 3 times.
I will support, but I can't defend it. I can't. I really can't. I don't have a leg to stand on, especially after that Fiend match, and damn sure after the Undertaker match. I don't have a leg to stand on. So, no.
Maybe he's in denial. Like y'all seen The Last Ride. The Undertaker, how many times was it The Last Ride? How many times did he say he was going to quit, or he should have quit? So maybe Goldberg just feel like, I'm going to ride this thing out till I die. I don't know.
Well, like I told them, when Vince calls you up and says, hey, I got a check for you, I need a favor, you ain't saying no.
It ain't $5. You're right.
Right. And then the last thing was what we just talked about for the women. So we're doing kind of Royal Rumble predictions. So for the women, Now I predicted that either Bianca Belair or Rhea
Right.
Ripley would win. Rob agrees. I didn't make it to book yet because you chimed in, but that's where we're at right now. I think Bianca versus Sasha is a great WrestleMania match. So
You think so?
So just your own prediction real quick, and then we'll get to book.
No, go ahead. Book and go ahead. Let me let that sink in for a second.
All right. Because I had to let it sink in too. I know what I want to say, but that would be fandom. So I'm not going to say her name, and you already know who I'm thinking, so I won't say her name. That would be pure fandom. But I do want to thank you all for complimenting my girl Bailey. I think it'll probably be Rhea. But if I did have to have a 1B, it's the lady who just won a match, Shayna Baszler. I know she's not going to get it. I know that with 100. I just know it. But I've been supporting Shayna for quite a while now. But I think it should be Rhea. Rhea earned it with that match she had with Charlotte. I think she completely earned it with that match she had. Bianca, I can
Mania.
Yep. Bianca, I can understand why people would want it. And it's possible that might happen. But I think that Rhea deserves it more. So I would prefer it if it was Rhea. If it's not Rhea, then Shayna. And then, of course, third would be just pure fandom, of course, my girl Bailey. But that one is not going to happen.
It might.
It's not. No.
It might.
Bailey had the belt too long.
I'm not ruling that one out. I'm not.
I would. It would be a shock if that
she could challenge Asuka. She could challenge Asuka.
I don't think it'll be Bailey. That would be too perfect.
Shayna is not good, y'all.
Yeah.
Oh God, come on, man.
She's not. I said it last year. The way they booked her at the Elimination Chamber, trying to convince everybody she was so tough. She's not good. She had her shot with Becky last year. That match was terrible. She has not been good since she made it to the main roster. I like Shayna. I was a fan of hers in UFC, but she's just not good.
I hear you, Rob.
Okay, Doc.
I think honestly, well, she been terrible since she been in WWE, but I think that will kind of be blockbuster actually. Shayna and Asuka, that'll be dope. Bianca, I'm kind of not sold on Bianca being in the big match yet, even though she can go. I do like Rhea. Actually, Rhea and Asuka that'll be dope too. So I'll go Rhea. As long as if they book her right, if she actually win, and it depends on how they book her. Like, I don't want her to win and she be fighting Mandy Rose or
whoa.
Uh-oh, you shouldn't have said that. You shouldn't have said that.
Mandy can't wrestle.
You shouldn't have said
that. She's just nice to look at. She can't wrestle.
Wait a minute.
You shouldn't have said that.
Don't care. I don't care. Y'all can talk about him all you want to. You ain't talking about Mandy.
Like, she's perfect to look at, but she can't.
She's a diva era wrestler. She can't wrestle.
We gonna move on.
Cancel all this shit.
I will say this: my fear is that the other half of the Shayna Baszler tag team wins.
Oh no,
that would be my greatest fear.
If
they give her that run.
That'd be everybody's fear.
Yeah.
If that happens,
that can't happen either. That's worse. That's worse.
Yeah, that's my fear.
I'd rather get
the
Tamina.
Worst outcome.
Yeah, I'd rather have Tamina than her.
I'll take anybody over her. That's my fear, is having her win that.
I don't even want to speak that into existence.
Unfortunately, you have to throw it out there.
Yeah.
I mean, they've given her a lot. Vince loves her.
You know,
clearly.
Since we're talking about, they might give Carmella a push.
Yeah.
I think
Carmella might get a push.
I think it's too early for that kind of a push. Not that kind of a push.
I think Carmella could get a title shot. She wouldn't win the Rumble to get it though, if that makes sense. Like maybe later at Elimination Chamber if they do that, or whatever pay-per-views leading up to Mania.
Oops.
She gets a title shot that way. But
I think it's a little early.
And then obviously the men's we kind of talked about.
Man.
You know,
Hey, Book don't like nothing. He don't like nothing.
It's just I'm trying to think. I'm
It's
trying to think
no,
who it should be.
well, Drew is hard because honestly, I do not see Goldberg beating him, so I'm just gonna stick to my gun and say Drew is gonna go in as champion. The problem remains: who in the hell does he face? That's interesting. You could throw anybody in there, but who the hell is interesting? Unless the man right now on TV is gonna wrestle him, Triple H. I don't see anybody else that's interesting.
That might be a nice match, though. That might be a nice.
He don't have no beef with Drew. How do you get there?
I wouldn't mind seeing him and Randy again. I mean, they wore the hell out the Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins beef. Bring Randy back with Drew. Them matches were epic.
I don't know. I mean, for those listening, Raw is still live right now, and we're getting Randy Orton versus Triple H because Drew caught COVID, so they had to figure out something. And speaking of going to the well, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, they did Brock already with Drew. They've done pretty much everybody with Drew. That's interesting. They already beat Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Aleister Black hasn't been on TV in forever. I don't know. Braun, him and Braun's not good enough for a Mania.
No. They're going to have to dig in the crates.
Coming back at some point.
Who's that?
The Fiend is coming back at some point in some form.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
I was waiting on you to say his name.
Oh, that might be interesting.
I was waiting on you to say his name.
Okay, that would be interesting. There we go. There we go. I know Rob hates that fucking idea.
Of course he does, but it makes the most sense.
Oh my God! Yes, the Fiend versus Drew.
I do, but like I said, it's not about what I like or dislike.
Book it. Book it. Don't even hesitate. Just book it. I didn't even think about that. But yeah,
that could be box office. I like that.
If it's not the Fiend, who is my pick,
mm-hmm.
And Eric, I know you're not going to like this one, but I'm sorry. I would like to see it. I would love to see the Messiah himself, the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins, come back and win it. That would be kind of funny because who knows what they're going to do with him. Because when he comes back, like when anybody comes back, you're going to get that pop because they're going to be just glad to see you. And say what you want to about him. He can go. His matches are interesting. He's interesting. But to me, the number one option to me is the Fiend. Because that's what everybody's going to wait for. It's not going to be a surprise if he shows up. That's what people are expecting, the Fiend. Vince has got to know that. If he's smart, he knows that people are expecting the Fiend to show up in some way, shape, or form.
So is that your Mania match?
No, let's be clear. Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew. Yes, I want to see that.
You don't want to see
No, I'm talking about
nothing to do with Monday Night Messiah.
Rollins is on SmackDown now. I think he would take on Reigns, and they have history. That could be a good story, and I think a good match.
Yeah.
Here's the thing to me. This is the first Royal Rumble where to me it doesn't matter who wins it. Because I just don't think they're gonna walk away with a belt. I just don't think they will. I don't think it matters.
Unless they pull some trickery, you might be right. Because Reigns ain't losing.
No.
And it don't make sense to beat Drew, really.
So, yeah, I don't.
Look, Royal Rumble's coming up. This is episode 1 of our road to WrestleMania. we're gonna have many more, especially right after the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble post show will kind of be like episode 2, sort of, because we're gonna see a lot. And looks like we lost the doc, but
Yeah,
that's
we
all
did.
right.
Maybe he went to the
'cause
bathroom.
I'm getting ready to close this thing out anyway. It's getting late. But it's kind of a different type of episode. We're just kind of rambling and giving our thoughts here. Road to WrestleMania begins now. Not much else to say. Gonna try to check out the rest of this Triple H and Randy Orton match.
Something's got to happen.
Always got to plug.
Oh, Triple H is already bleeding.
Make sure you check us out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Third Generation Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you check out our Best and Worst of show. It is now available, and you don't want to miss that one. It is absolutely hilarious, along with the Hits Volume 1 from 2020. That's kind of a compilation of different spots in different episodes. Also a good show.
Both were good episodes.
And obviously coming up, we got the Royal Rumble retrospective. And I'm not retrospective. Royal Rumble 2021. The post show. For the retrospective of January, though, since that come up, we're going to do something a little different. During the Rumble season, myself, I'll pick an actual Royal Rumble match, and Rob will pick a Royal Rumble match, and we'll review those as retrospectives. Just a Rumble match, because usually Royal Rumble cards themselves, as you can see, this one's leading up to, they tend to suck. We're there for the Rumble matches. So, and always, I'm gonna shout out the book, the Countdown Podcast 2020. Myself, Rob, and good brother Blake have been special guests on there. Always a good time, especially the 90s action countdown. Make sure you check that one out.
Oh boy. Befuddling. But you've spawned off a lot of episodes since then.
You're welcome. But thank you all again for listening. Mr. Rob.
Hey, just always want to thank the listeners. We appreciate y'all. Let's hear from you.
Yes, it's been a little bit. We got a couple of retrospectives from you all, and we look forward to some in the future. Everybody, oh wow. Everybody out there, take care, and we'll speak to you all next week. Goodbye.